Welcome to another tip of the week where we're actually wrapping up the squat series. And by now you should have a fairly good understanding of what we're looking for in a squat. And in this last video, I want to talk to you about how to actually improve range of motion and how to fix a bad squat. Just by engaging in daily activity to improve range of motion might actually help fix a squat. First, swimmers tend to have super tight calves and limited dorsiflexion from the ankle. Improving this will help distribute the weight more evenly on the feet at the end range of a squat. Some quick ways of improving dorsiflexion are ankle rocks. We can do these against the wall, or we can even do that with a band distraction. We want to manipulate the ankle structure a little bit more, and the objective here is to keep the heel on the ground while moving the shin towards the toes by flexing the knee to rock the body forward. In this dynamic rocking position, I encourage a few maximal dorsiflexion repetitions for 2 to 3 seconds to get some activation from our anterior tibialis muscle. We're essentially pointing the toes upward towards us during the end range of this ankle stretch. Next, swimming is such a high hip dominant sport that the hip flexors and the quads get exceptionally tense. They might contribute to many of the swimmers feeling a movement being blocked at the end range. So stretch the hip flexors and the quads thoroughly and don't settle there. Really open up the hips and the legs completely. By doing the pigeon stretch or the butterfly stretch, it will continue to open up the groin and especially help the swimmers that tend to keep their toes pointed outwards a lot more. If we spend a few minutes per area on a daily basis, we'll start seeing some more noticeable change in our squatting mechanics. And there are a few tricks that we can include to facilitate range of motion, such as using bands, mobility balls, and even foam rolls. And it is very encouraged that you tackle your hot spots. Evidently, restrictions start building up in very young swimmers early. I'm talking 10 to 12 years old. Their limbs are growing really fast, and we're worried about working these kids so hard that we tend to overlook stretching them. Naturally, over time, these restrictions accumulate and movements actually start looking worse and worse and will eventually lead into injuries. Now, if the swimmer is experiencing pain even when executing the squat beyond soreness or a restricted feeling, such as a pinch or a hip or a knee being tingling, that's a sign to go see a qualified physical therapist as soon as possible. As you can tell, there's so much to be said about the squat, so I really wanted to finish here by quickly scanning through the body to show you guys the most common restrictions in swimmers, and hopefully now you guys can go out and actually do it much better. Our tip of the week for you: fix your squat restrictions and do it on a daily basis, ideally before practice. Next week, we'll visit and talk about the 3 healthiest core exercises that we can do. Thank you so much for watching.